Good morning, evening, afternoon to you guys here or wherever you guys are, whatever time zone it is that you're watching this at right now. We are back at Goodwood for a very, very gloomy and muggy day for our race 7, I believe it is. Now, today's going to be a wet one and it's supposed to be wet the entire time, which is, I guess, a good and bad thing. Bad as in I don't want to be wet, but good is I get practice in the rain because we all know I'm pretty doo-doo in the rain. Now, I want to clarify something I said, I think in race 4, since we're in the same situation as now. In race 4, I think it was, when I said what I said in the video was, if it rains, I hope it pours. Let's clear that up a little bit. What I meant by that was, if it rains, I hope it consistently rains throughout the day, not pour as in the fact that I can't see where I'm going and I get absolutely soaked like crazy. That's what I meant by was I want it consistent. So yeah, I don't want it to pour and me being soaked and wet. I just want it to be consistent so that the track surface, even though I suck in the rain, at least it's consistent and I can get used to the track conditions, not that one corner's wet, one corner's dry, and then throughout the race, it might even dry up even more, and then I might mess up in certain lines and end up having more grip, or if it rains a little bit later, it gets even more wet and whatever, I'm rambling. Yeah, it's a very wet day today. It's starting to rain a little bit harder right now, actually. I hope my camera doesn't get too wet and I ruin it, because that would be really bad. It's not an expensive camera, but I don't want to spend money on a camera when I don't have to, because this camera's pretty good, and I think we're starting soon. I got here a little late because of the traffic, because of the rain. Also, with that being said, traffic, rain, me getting ready, I don't think there's, oh, let's clean that a little bit. I don't think there's going to be many people here because of the rain, so that might be a very good thing for me, because A, I might be put with guys who are slower. I might actually win a race. That's not the main reason. The main reason is I'll get probably a lot of track time. Hopefully we can do like a practice 3, again like in race 3, or race 4 should I say, and then maybe even a practice 4 if there's really not that many people. That is ideal, but we'll see how it goes. But let's get suited up and we'll see you in practice 1, 2, and how many other practices we have after that. Okay then, well, let's get into practice number 1. Now first off, I want to apologize for my squeaky ass chair. Yeah, it's not the best. Other than that, let's get into the actual practice part of the video. So, if you saw in the little title card thing there, it showed that it said practice 1, technically 2. Now, the main reason for that is when I sign up, I always sign up. I'm always like one of the first people to sign up. So usually I am in one of like the first groups of the packs to go out for like practice. And it turns out I was the very, very first group to go out, which was which was a good thing, I guess. But I don't know if it's good or bad, but I guess it was good because you get to feel out the track right away, but that's besides the point. But I didn't realize that I was going to be the very first group out, so I kind of missed my name getting called. Maybe it's because it was raining and I wasn't really paying attention right away, and I wasn't up at the gates to be ready to go up right away. So yeah, so technically this is practice number 2, but it's my first practice. We end up getting 3 practices this day, so that actually kind of works out. So I get, you know, my 2 practices in, which helped out tremendously, because I don't think if I got 2 practices in, I would not have been able to get it properly, like done the track properly the bits today. Anyways, second point, I want to talk about the tires. With old slick tires, with the rain and it being absolutely freezing outside, that is a terrible mix for the tires that we were on, because you can see the guy in the grass over there. There's multiple people that go off in the grass, so it doesn't help that the tires themselves are old, but with it being cold and very, very slick out there, no one was really able to, you know, really get a good grip of things, for a lack of better words, and no pun intended. Yeah, so a lot of people were slipping and sliding. I was actually able to like not spin in practice 1 or 2. I'm just gonna call my practices 1 and 2, just so we don't get confused and me having to talk over myself saying that every time. But yeah, so I was able to not spin. Also, if you can see the way that I'm taking the line here, for some reason I was doing that all practice 1 and 2, taking like the extra curbing, or the what would you call it, the concrete part in the last turn, and I should have also been taking it in the basically turn 4 for the regular rotation, but as you can see, we're in the reverse rotation, so also got a little squirrely there, almost lost it, but I was able to catch it. So yeah, that was a good thing. Also run over what looks like a belt for the drivetrain, I guess you would call it. But yeah, like I was saying, yes, we're in the reverse rotation, which is also a kicker. I've done this once before, and the only time I've ever done this was in the rain for my race 3, I believe it was. So as we're coming into old turn 4, I don't know what the turn is in this rotation. I should be taking the concrete on the side there because it will give me a little bit more grip because it is a little more gritty. But yes, that would probably help out a tremendous amount. But let's jump into practice number 2 quickly. So like I was saying, for practice number 2, as we jump into practice number 2 right now, as you can see, cough cough, practice 3. Anyways, like I was saying, I should be really taking this concrete here more often. Also, the camera gets a little wet from the rain, so don't mind that too much. It does get quite annoying, but yeah, it kind of stays right in the middle of the screen, unfortunately, which is kind of annoying, but yeah. Anyways, like I was saying, I should be taking the turn number for turn number 4. I keep reiterating this. I really should just get to the point. For turn number 4 for the regular rotation, I really should be taking it wide and going to the concrete, because since the concrete is a little bit more gritty, I don't want to say porous, I don't know the right word, but I'm able to actually take there's a little bit more grip, and it's not as wet, so you actually get a little bit more grip into those corners, so you can go a little bit quicker, and you have a lot more exit speed coming out of it. Just like how you have it coming to the last turn, which I was using a lot, but then for some reason, when we get into qualifying, I'll show you that I actually stopped using that for some reason. I don't know what it was, why I stopped using it. I thought maybe because it was cheating, so I didn't want to really use it and maybe abuse the way it was going. Like as you can see here, I get that, and I get a way better exit than the guy there. He also goes off, but I was able to carry a ton more speed coming like that. So I guess in the wet races, I'm going to try to pay attention more to the concrete parts of the track, because clearly there's a lot more grip there. Also, a quick thing, I was worried about my GoPro getting a little bit too wet because I didn't have the wet backing on it. I had like the regular one. It's a GoPro 3, so it's not that great of a GoPro in general, but yeah, it worked out perfectly fine because no rain actually went behind it, which is really good. It all just hit the front of it, which is waterproof, that side of it. Anyways, so as I was saying, it was absolutely just terribly wet this race. And what I also noticed is that I wasn't really taking a wet line. I was still kind of trying to take like the proper, what would be the dry racing line in the rain. Here I'm able to take like a little bit more of an apex coming out of the last turn if I take the grass. But if I come into, for example, turn 1 over here, I really should be going as wide as I can, because that is where all the grip is, because there's no rubber there, and every turn kind of slopes in, so all the water falls into basically where the apex is. So example for this one here, which I think is turn 6 in the regular rotation, if I go all the way wide, that's where all the grip is. And coming into, I don't know what the turns in on this rotation is, kind of dumb. So turn 5, if you go all the way outside, there's actually a decent amount of grip there, which is kind of ridiculous, but there is grip there. I should be taking that more, which is kind of like the dumb thing, which I'm not doing, and that just shows you how like green or how like noobish I am at this racing this for this season. But anyways, that's what I'm going to try practicing on for next season, and we'll get better.
So we just finished practice number 3, which was technically my practice number 2. But clearly, I think I'm doing pretty well in the rain right now. I think that first day or the video that you guys didn't see has really put a lot of experience under my belt, or more that put the knowledge in my head to like not drive like an absolute moron, because everybody's spinning, everyone's sliding. You can see that I'm sliding like crazy too, but I'm able to catch it. I'm going a lot slower into corners. A lot of people going really deep into the corners and even going off like crazy. And it tastes a little wild, a little crazy. It's raining right now. You can't really see in the camera, but it's raining quite heavily right now. We'll see how the rest of the day goes, but yeah, I don't have much of an update. Sliding, I was dumb. I missed my practice number 1, like a big dumb idiot. I got kind of screwed, but there's not many people here. There's only about 8 groups, I think, maybe. So maybe we'll have one more session. If I can get a 4th practice or a 3rd practice, I think we'll be able to do pretty well today. The way I look at the race today is, as long as you don't spin in the race or wreck anybody in the race, may I add as well, as long as you pretty much don't spin, I think you'll do really well today, because I think everybody's going to spin during the race. They're not going to know what they're doing, and with the conditions being very cold and very wet, the tires have nothing to them. And the fact that these tires are old, they're slicks, they're cold, whatever, they're every possible worst thing for a tire. Especially for a slick today, it's just a mess. So I think as long as I stay calm, consistent, and don't try to go 2 balls to the wall, I think I can come out with a podium today. I don't want to, jinx myself by saying that, but I think it's very possible. But
I guess we'll jump into most likely qualifying. I can't see there being a fourth practice, but yeah, we'll jump into most likely whatever's next. I don't know how to say this anymore. I really are. I'm in my ring suit, so it's not like the clear one that, like, you know, Super GT and stuff they use that they call the condom or whatever. It's black, it's pretty sleek, very, you know, thins me out. So yeah, I like it a lot. It's working, I guess. I don't know. It was raining on and off in my second practice 3, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, anyways, let's jump into whatever. Okay then, so let's jump right into the qualifying session we had for our race number 7. Also, this noise here is me, where I actually finally made notes for something before, so I'm not just going into these blind. I'm going to be doing these more often, so hopefully the videos come out a little bit better for the post-com. But anyways, as you can see, how slippery it really was, me coming in out of the last turn for the first lap of qualifying. I go a little bit on the grass. By a little bit, I mean completely on the grass with 4 wheels off, so yeah, that was, yeah, that shows you how excited, I guess we can say the word is, for qualifying. And even here, coming right into the one I think I would call it turn 3 possibly, we got a little bit wild there. But yes, so in this race here, right ahead of us is our buddy Kunar. I actually made friends with this guy. I think it was race number, I believe it was race number 4, don't remember exactly, but I made friends with this guy right away. That's like one of the best things I gained from going to these events, is that you actually end up making quite a bit of friends. As long as you're a little bit social and not like completely by yourself, you're able to make quite a bit of friends, and you get to learn a lot from these guys here. Also, I go way too wide. I should be really taking that concrete there, but even with that, I was able to get a really good exit out of that corner somehow, and I blow right by my buddy Kunar. That lap there, I believe I ran a, what is it here? Let's look at our notes. A 62.9. So that isn't our fastest lap. That was probably one of our slowest laps of the day. But as you can see, our second lap, we are getting a little bit squirrely coming through the corners, and that really did slow us down, even coming to turn 3 here, I believe. We're getting a little bit too sideways, and it's really slowing us down too much. That's where, like, the whole racing line from before would really help. But yeah, we're not doing too much here. And coming into old turn 4, and that's gonna be the name of it for now on, I go a little bit wide, which is good for grip, and I like go onto the rumble strip. I just lose it, and that's my first and I believe only spin of the day, and my buddy passes me. And with that lap there, we end up getting, I think it's a 58, yeah, 58.7, I believe it is. And that is an improvement of about 4 seconds, but I think we can do a lot better than that, because with a 58 and a spin, that easily we can get at least 8 seconds off that time. At least that's what I'm hoping for. So coming into turn 3, again, we're going really wide, and like paying attention now and having basically the entire season done from, I finished the season from when this is recorded, me recording this now. I finished the season and I have a lot more driving experience under my belt. I really did take the wrong line. I really should be going a lot wider in the corners, because that's where the grip is, and I've been doing a lot better with stuff like that. Also, be going wider into old turn 4. Yeah, so we do end up getting a pretty decently clean lap here. I should have wanted the concrete to get a better exit, because as you can see, I do end up going a little bit wide and just touching the grass, coming in for our final lap. And with our final lap, we end up running a 52.3, something like that. So yeah. So let's talk about qualifying really quickly. While my hair is an absolute mess, we're gonna forget about that. So what I qualified with, I think was a 50 point something. I think it was a 0.3 or 0.8. I don't remember, but I'll look up while I'm editing. I'll put it right here or something. I don't know. We'll see. So I qualified with the 50. One of the buddies that I'm here with qualified with the 53. So it's giving me hope that I'm starting up front in the race. We'll see. I'm not sure. I'm assuming I'm gonna qualify. I usually like now that I'm getting used to the cart, I am qualifying higher up, like 1 to 4. So maybe I'll qualify 3rd, maybe again, who knows. I'd like to qualify 3rd again, that'd be nice. Quick notes, it's still really wet, but the sun is coming out, as you can see. The clouds are going away, so it's kind of worrying me for one reason, that I'm scared that when we go out, it might end up being a little bit, oh, that's loud. It might be a little too, wow, that's scraping a lot. What I'm worried about is it might be a little too patchy for us. So what that means is that in some corners it's going to be really wet, in some corners it's going to be dry, so it's going to be very inconsistent. And as the day keeps going on and on, or even the laps go on and on, it might even change while we're racing, so that's what's worrying me. It's good because hopefully the sun comes out, I can see what I'm doing with the tint. I don't want to take the tint off yet because I think it looks cool or whatever. Also, what was I going to say? Let's try not to kill anybody this race. Last race I did a big dumb move and I killed that guy, so let's try not to do that. I think, again, like I said before, the main points of this race is that as long as I don't spin like how I did in qualifying, that was me trying to send it a little too hard, I spun. So as long as I don't spin, I think I can stay top 3. I think a podium is very, very possible. I don't want to jinx myself because I said that before. I don't jinx it again. But whatever. Anyways, we're gonna move on. I think I said what I have to say. I don't want to talk too much. I just want to get into the race because that's the best part of the day. A lot of guys are spinning, like a lot of people are spinning today. A lot of people not, including me, not knowing what they're doing. So yeah, let's jump in the race and get it. The nerves are there every time I get into these karts. I guess because I'm new or just because of how I am. I always get very, very nervous getting into these races, especially with it being cold. And anyways, green, green, green. There's the flag right there, and the race is starting. So the guys in front of me, I do end up starting in 4th position here, and I was very nervous. Like I said before, very, very nervous. Everyone here ends up going pretty wide. The guy in 3rd there actually ends up taking a great line and goes right past everybody, right into 1st place. But does go way too well. I think he purposely went wide like that to get the grip. So I'm not gonna say he messed that up there. I think he did the proper line there as well. As you can see, he is going really wide everywhere, and that's where he's getting all the grip. And he just absolutely blowing by all of us. He's taking that, like I mentioned before, all the grip is on the corners, and he's taking that grip, and he's able to get on the throttle a lot earlier. And he's just walking away from us. And as you can see, I'm actually falling back quite a bit from everyone here as well. Also, he isn't taking the concrete on the last turn, so I don't know if that was a bad or good thing. So I guess we're learning from that. Also, coming into the last turn, I do get a little bit wide, and it's not perfect, but it is what it is. Coming into turn 1 and falling into turn number 2, I believe the guy in the white helmet spins. Yeah, he spins, and we get to jump right into 3rd position, which is, you know, we get in a position. Now we're fighting here for, not fighting, we're actually on the podium now. So we were fighting for a podium, and now we're here to fight for, hopefully, let's maybe move up another position, get the 2nd position, which would be absolutely incredible. And if you pay attention to the actual surroundings, it is slowly getting darker and darker on the outside. And I didn't notice this until I think it was the 4th or 5th lap, because I was like, oh, the lights are on. I was like, oh my god, the lights are on. It is pretty dark outside. And with my tinted visor, I really couldn't see everything perfectly, but I was able to manage, even though, just because I knew it was wet outside. I am taking the last corner a little bit better. We're going a little bit quicker. I can't really see the lap times from here on my computer, but we are running about a 52, so we are running our qualifying pace, which is, you know, pretty much what we were able to do. From what I understand also, after talking to my buddy Kunar, because he did end up being in this race with me as well, coming into this turn here, which I think technically turn 3, apparently everybody wiped out behind us. Like, everyone from 5th to 8th just absolutely wiped out, and it was like a shit show, essentially. So that's kind of why there's no one near me at all, and it's kind of just me fighting the guys in 1st and 2nd. If I actually took the proper line, I'd be able to fight with the guy in 1st place, like, completely, because I'm able to keep up with him, and I'm taking the absolute wrong line. So if I took an actual proper line, I think I'd be able to keep up with him. Also, if you notice the guy going off course there, you couldn't really see in the video because it happens really, really quickly, and since they were so far ahead, you couldn't really see it. But the marshals actually gave him a black flag, so he actually got black flagged. I don't think it's because he hit anything. I think it's more because they mentioned in the at the beginning of the year that you can get a black flag for simply your car being, or your cart being like broken or something wrong with it. So that's probably why they took him off, because I didn't really notice him do anything like illegal or like rough or like bad, like to hurt anybody. So I really don't know why he got black flag. I'm actually still quite confused about it, but if I was a betting man, I would bet on the fact that his cart, there's something wrong with his cart, more or less. But let's figure out him. But right now we are in 2nd position. Messed that up on the part there, but we'll get to fix that later. We're actually in 2nd position. We're actually fighting for possibly a 1st place. Now, coming in here, this is lap number 5, and the reason why I wouldn't say we're fighting for a 1st position is for the simple fact that that guy ran away so far ahead, and I knew I didn't have the pace with him. If I was put myself in my body then, I think I would have the pace, but at the time, I was like, I don't have the pace to keep up with this guy. I'm not going to try to do anything rash or crazy. As you can see, I'm looking behind me to see if there's anyone near me. I knew if I just kept consistent and I just kept doing my racing line, no one would be able to catch up with me, because it still was spitting quite a little bit. You can't really see it on camera, but it was lightly drizzling, so it was keeping the track wet and keeping a consistent track surface. Coming into the last turn to get on our final lap of the race, I was absolutely nervous as hell. The jitters were there, and I knew for like an absolute fact I was not catching the guy in 1st place. I just had to stay consistent, and as long as I did not spin, second place was in the bag and we had it. And here I took a really tight line, which is kind of dumb because like the grip wasn't there, but it worked out, I guess. Well, I guess we'll just roll with it, I guess. And at this point we can't even see the guy in first place. I think later on I say he was like 5 seconds ahead of me. I would bet he was a lot closer to 10 seconds ahead of me. So yeah, he was about a half a lap ahead of me, which is kind of sad. But anyways, as we're coming slowly through the course, we're about halfway there, just about past halfway, coming into Old Turn 4. Took it not that great. Do end up going on the rumble strip just a little bit, but we're not going to spin this time. I kind of let off the throttle purposely to not spin there, and we didn't. Coming into the final corner, I made sure to brake really early for this corner. As you can see how like slow I actually come into the corner. Coming into the final turn, and that's it, boys. We did it, second place, and I'll let myself tell you how I feel. Second place, baby! I was so excited I forgot to turn the record button. I started talking already. But yeah, that is a second place podium for my go-karting career. I can't even speak right now English because I'm so excited. Yeah, so that's a second place. I'm absolutely hyped. Like I said, the whole race was about consistency, and as long as I didn't spin, I knew I would get top 3 at least. I didn't think I'd finish first or second. I didn't think I'd finish second at all. I thought I was gonna get 3rd place, maybe 4th if I was like, maybe 3rd. Let me rephrase that. I thought I was gonna get 4th place, maybe 3rd if I was lucky, not a 2nd at all. I kind of got lucky with the 2nd place because the guy did get a black flag. Why I got a black flag, to be honest, I don't really know. I think it's because he hit the guy in one of the first corners. I think, I'm not sure, but it is what it is. I got 2nd place, and they got a black flag for a reason. I got pointed last week because I was a stupid idiot. I probably should have taken out of the race for that, but whatever. I'm absolutely hyped. I don't know what to say, but yes, consistency is key. I can't believe I podium in a wet race. That's absolutely hilarious. Like, I didn't think that I would be able to hold the consistency, but I was able to. The guy in first ended up walking away, partly because as I was looking back and I didn't see the guy there anymore, I was like, well, let's just stay consistent. I'd rather take the 2nd place than spin out and possibly lose everything trying to catch first. The guy in first was way too fast. He was probably 5 seconds faster than me, I'd say, at least, and that's being like very, very lenient on 5 seconds, probably even more. But yeah, I don't know what else to say. I'll probably catch up late, show you guys the video of me just accepting my medal. I think it is. I don't know what we get here. I think it's a medal. I'm not sure. But I'll finish off the video with me over there. So let's go to my board ceremony.